True Blue Nation, Dodgers Report.
What's up, Dodger Nation? My inside sources just confirmed it. The front office is working quietly on a trade that is going to shake the entire MLB. This is the move that could define our next dynasty. If you want the details before anyone else, subscribe now and hit the bell because this bombshell is about to drop. What's up, True Blue Nation? Welcome back to True Blue Nation, Dodgers Report, your go-to channel for the hottest news and deepest analysis on our Los Angeles Dodgers. Before we dive into the bombshell I'm about to drop, do yourselves and me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Things are heating up this offseason, and you're not going to want to miss a single exclusive update. Trust me. Alright, Blue Crew, let's get straight to it. The 2025 season was a roller coaster, to say the least. We had moments of pure brilliance, but we also saw the cracks in our armor. We saw injuries test our depth, the bullpen give us a few scares, and let's be honest, we saw some inconsistencies in the lineup that cost us at crucial times. And one of those areas of focus for the front office, according to my sources, is the outfield, specifically the production we got from Michael Conforto. The idea was to bring in a veteran bat, a steady presence to solidify the outfield. However, the results just weren't up to the Dodger standard. Conforto ended the year with a slash line of .2, 311, 308, 392, with just 14 home runs and a WRC plus of 95. For those unfamiliar, WRC plus, weighted runs created plus, measures a player's total offensive production, with 100 being exactly league average. A WRC plus of 95 means he was a 5% below average run producer. On a team with World Series aspirations, and in a lineup featuring Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Shohei Ohtani, below average simply doesn't cut it. The front office, led by Andrew Friedman, knows we can't go into 2026 with the same question marks. Not when rivals like the Braves, Phillies, and even the Padres continue to get stronger every year. This is where the offseason gets fascinating, and this is where I bring you the news that has been whispered in back channels, but is now, according to people with knowledge of the situation, gaining real momentum. The name at the very top of the Dodgers target board is Byron Buxton. Yes, you heard that right. The platinum glove caliber center fielder, the 5-tool talent, the $100 million man from the Minnesota Twins. The chatter I'm hearing isn't just about due diligence or preliminary exploration. My sources indicate the Dodgers are actively positioning themselves to make an aggressive move, laying the groundwork for a trade proposal that could bring Buxton to Los Angeles and make him the dynamic centerpiece our lineup needs to dominate in 2026 and beyond. This isn't just any speculation. This is a strategic move the organization believes could be the difference between being a contender and being a dynasty. So why Byron Buxton? Why is he the solution the Dodgers are willing to pursue so hard? Let's break it down. First, and perhaps most impactfully, is his defense. Buxton isn't just a good defender. He's one of the most electric defensive outfielders of his generation. He redefines what's possible in center field. We're talking about a player with elite game-changing speed, supernatural instincts, and an ability to cover the vast green expanse of Dodger Stadium in a way we haven't seen in a long time. Think about the impact that would have on our pitchers. Knowing you have a human eraser patrolling center field, turning doubles into singles and extra base hits into outs, inspires immense confidence. It allows pitchers to attack the strike zone more, knowing the defense behind them is airtight. That in itself is a game changer, but the story doesn't end there. Offensively, Buxton is a force to be reckoned with. In 2025, even in a season that had its challenges, he posted 22 home runs, an .835 OPS, and 128 OPS plus. That 128 OPS plus means he was 28% better than the average league hitter. Compare that to Conforto's 95 WRC plus, and you see the massive upgrade he represents. Buxton possesses a rare combination of raw power and speed. He can change the scoreboard with one swing or create chaos on the base paths, putting constant pressure on the opposing defense. Now, imagine injecting that kind of athleticism into a lineup that is already a nightmare for pitchers. Think about the order: Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith, and somewhere in the middle, Byron Buxton. The protection he would offer, the versatility he would bring, the ability to hit in different spots in the lineup would make our offense virtually foolproof. He fills the gap, providing that balance of power, speed, and on-base ability that turns a great lineup into a historic one. Of course, I know what you're all thinking, the H word, health. Buxton's injury history is well documented, and it would be malpractice for me not to address it. This is, without a doubt, the biggest risk factor in the equation. However, it's precisely the kind of calculated risk that Andrew Friedman's front office has shown a willingness to take in exchange for elite-level talent. Remember the Mookie Betts trade. There were concerns about his willingness to sign a long-term extension. The front office took the risk, and the result was a World Series title and a franchise cornerstone. With Buxton, the risk is physical, but the reward is a player who, when he is on the field, performs at an MVP level. The Dodgers have one of the best medical and performance staffs in the sport. The plan would undoubtedly be to implement a load management program to maximize his availability, using our roster depth to get him strategic days off. In a 162-game season, getting 120 to 130 games of peak performance, Buxton is worth far more than getting 150 games from a league average player. It's a bet on talent, a bet that, if it pays off, could lead us back to the promised land. Now, let's get into the mechanics of how this monumental trade could actually happen. The million-dollar question is, why would the Minnesota Twins even consider dealing a franchise star who is under contract through the 2028 season? The answer lies in a confluence of factors that is creating a perfect window of opportunity for the Dodgers. First, and most importantly, there is significant uncertainty surrounding the Twins' ownership. With reports that the Poe family is exploring a sale of the franchise, the organization finds itself in a strategic limbo. New ownership often signals a change in direction, and that change usually begins with a full-scale rebuild or a financial reset. Moving Buxton, who is entering the fourth year of his 7-year, $100 million contract, would be the quickest way to both alleviate future payroll and, crucially, restock a farm system in need of high-impact talent. For a team that may be bracing for a rebuilding phase, trading a 31-year-old player at the peak of his value for a package of cost-controlled, top-tier prospects is a textbook move. This brings us to the second point. What can the Dodgers offer? This is where Los Angeles' advantage becomes undeniable. Andrew Friedman and his staff have built and maintained one of the deepest and most talented farm systems in baseball for precisely moments like this. You don't acquire a player of Buxton's caliber with spare parts. The Twins will rightfully demand a substantial return, and the Dodgers are one of the few teams that can meet that price without gutting their future. Names already being floated in scouting and executive circles, per my sources, include some of our most coveted prospects. Think of players like outfielder Zahir Hope or left-handed pitcher Jackson Ferris. Hope is a dynamic athlete with an incredibly high ceiling, a true 5-tool talent in the making. Ferris is a lefty with an electric arsenal and the potential to be a top-of-the-rotation arm. These are the types of players that become the centerpieces of a deal. Yes, the thought of trading talents like these hurts. We as fans get attached to their potential, but this is the business reality of winning now. It is the cost of acquiring a proven Platinum Glove winner with 128 OPS plus who is under contract control for the next 4 years. This isn't a one-year rental, it's an investment in our team's core for the foreseeable future. It's important to note that Buxton does not have a no-trade clause, which removes a significant hurdle. While he has expressed his desire to stay in Minnesota in the past, the dynamic of an offseason is very different. When a team makes it clear it's moving in a rebuilding direction, and the alternative is joining a perennial contender like the Dodgers, with the chance to play alongside future Hall of Famers and compete for multiple World Series rings, our player's perspective can change quickly. The Dodgers front office would need to do two things to seal the deal. First, pay the prospect price. Second, sell Buxton on the vision. Let him know he's not just another piece, but the piece that can elevate this team from great to unstoppable, putting him in a position to achieve the sport's ultimate glory. So, this is my final analysis. The pursuit of Byron Buxton is the personification of the Andrew Friedman philosophy. aggressive, calculated, and relentlessly focused on acquiring impact talent. And the injury risk is real and cannot be ignored. However, the potential reward is astronomical. A healthy Byron Buxton transforms the Dodgers' dynamic on both sides of the ball. He would give us the best defensive outfield in baseball while adding another layer of power and speed to an already lethal lineup. In a National League that is getting more competitive by the year, bold moves like this are what separate the champions from the rest of the pack. Imagine Byron Buxton making a diving catch in the gap at Dodger Stadium in October, then in the same inning stealing second base to put himself in position to score the winning run. That's the visual. That's the possibility that makes this pursuit so tantalizing. And now I want to hear from you, the Dodger Nation, the Blue Crew. What do you think? Is Byron Buxton the missing piece, the player we should go all in for this offseason? Are you willing to part with top prospects like Hope or Ferris to make it happen? Does his health risk outweigh the potential reward of a World Series title? Leave your thoughts, your concerns, on your analysis in the comments below. Let's debate this as the passionate community we are. If you're fired up about the possibility of seeing Buxton in Dodger Blue, smash that like button. And most importantly, make sure you are subscribed, because as this story develops, we will be here to cover every twist, every rumor, and every update. This is True Blue Nation, Dodgers Report. As we always say, let's go, Dodgers.